think she's gonna mute us, Wendy. And we are back, coming in with another series for you. The fate of the previous one is none of our concern at the moment, because for now we have a TVZ for you. In the top right-hand corner of the map, spawning in the top right-hand corner of World of Sleepers, we have the red Terran player all the way from Ukraine, which I'm gonna guess that's decently far off from the Katowice sort of area, but he is the red Terran player representing Team Harbingers. We have Awers.
And in the bottom right, honestly, a matchup I didn't think we would see, period, as this is the only Zerg player in the bracket. amongst all of the Protoss, we actually got to see this Zerg player, which is amazing to me, representing France as well as Infinity Gaming. It is Denver.
How many casters can say that they covered bracket 1 and they managed to get a TVZ?
Right? Oh my god.
Boy, boy.
There's just like a handful of Terrans, there's only one Zerg, everything else is Protoss. So, I love it. It's good. It's amazing.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, what do we do? There are no adepts. There are no stalkers.
Oh no, we lost. We spent so much time studying PvP, but now, in preparation, now we lost.
There's no proxy. There's no Stargate.
What are these units? Speaking of these units, Reapers are units.
Yeah, we do have Awers denying that third base, being quite annoying. You know, stopping that drone from making a hatchery. Or a thing.
Nice little trick that you can do there.
It's not gonna finish, right? It's not gonna finish. What?
It did.
Mate.
Well,
mate.
You had to jinx it there.
I was like, he's not gonna finish, right? Okay.
Well, you're gonna get the geyser at some point anyway, right? So you may as well not risk the drone.
Sure. I mean, maybe the queen was a little bit too far out.
Deep in your heart, that makes sense.
Sure.
Deep down. Right. I was going for the tried and true.
Yeah. 1-1-1.
Yeah. Going to get a reactor on his factory, but only going for one Hellion for the time being. Have to wonder if maybe he has something planned, or if he was delaying the Hellion for something else.
Yeah, we'll see if he ends up getting a tech lab on the racks, or maybe he won't and he'll go. Oh, he's not. So maybe he'll go for a Hellion drop or something along those lines. We'll see.
So it's a possibility. Why does this build seem familiar to me, Light?
Why does it seem familiar to you?
Could it be because in the last whatchamacallit, not Sentimental Latino, Battle of the Americas, that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. We had a player who was known for this.
We did?
Well, it wasn't ours.
Exactly. And the Overlord does come in with Overlord speed, and he does spot that fusion core.
He knows that BCs are coming in. It's something that I think a lot of Zerg players kind of assumed beforehand, but nowadays it isn't as certain.
Yeah, especially in like these weekly cups that we've been casting, like Battle of the Americas as well as GPO. We have seen, Terran players be diverse and go Banshees or Liberators, so they do have, options available to them. But it is good to see that Denver does scout the fusion core, so he does know what's coming.
And react he does, or no he does, and react accordingly he will also do.
He should.
I mean, he's getting queens.
He does have a bunch of queens. Hopefully they're positioned, in the right place when the BC does come.
Well, he is starting to try to get this nice creep everywhere. Have a nice little elastic defense of his queens. Even if he is caught out of position, Hopefully that's only momentarily. A little bit of that gap there, but we should see Denver close that pretty soon.
Yeah, and we'll see if Awers if he ends up, yeah, if he ends up flying in the BC. Oh my god, but there's no wall. What?
There isn't a wall here. There are a couple of Hellions, but they aren't quite in place just yet. A lot of these SUVs are starting to go down. Denver trying to go into the main, but getting denied. Gonna go once more for this juicy SUV line, but the Hellions will be enough. Awers actually not losing as much as I thought he would.
Yeah, he actually still has a Ling there. It's still chipping away at the SUVs, and they're low enough for him to actually like focus fire if he wanted to, and kill a couple more.
Focus fire, he did. That's 6 SUVs that do go down. Denver is going to have to deal with this BC in his face. He does have a lot of queens, and he does have a lot of transfuses, but that BC is starting to go into the dead air. Denver, his Spire is almost done.
That it is, and I imagine we're going to see Corruptors coming out of that to help deal with the BC. Can't imagine he's going to go Mutas. That'd be crazy.
He might just go Mutas. Just like, you know what, queens are all I need to defend, and bring the Mutas across the map. But across the map, Hellions are here, and they are roasting this drone line. The Roach is not quite in place to body block. 8 workers will go down here.
Oh my god. Meanwhile, the BC is being annoying, not getting too much damage done. You know, the queens are taking care of it as best they can. And, you know, he does still have his teleport available to him, so he can be risky with it.
Well, it's about to be off cooldown. Now it's off cooldown.
Nice.
But the queens, you gotta deal with the queens.
Yeah, you should TP. There it is. Beautiful.
There it is. Denver is actually not too shaken here. Just continuing his macro, gonna get his fusion core. Not fusion core, the other word. Berserk fusion core. Infestation pit, that's the one.
That's it. Meanwhile, Awers
gonna be a little bit annoying with his Roach harass, but other than that, he just wants to macro up.
Yeah, meanwhile, Awers, he's just making it happen. You know, he's got a bunch of tanks on the way, pure legacy style. We've seen a lot of him with his mech. And we'll see how he goes, because this can like ramp up and be very dangerous.
It absolutely can. One thing to keep in mind though, Denver is very aggressive with his expansion. Awers is still on 3 bases. Now, if Awers does turtle up quite a bit, maybe force Denver into a fight that Denver can't quite win, this can absolutely be how Awers turns the tables. But if not, we'll see what he comes up with.
Yeah, I feel like it's all going to be about these swarm hosts. 10, 11 swarm hosts are out, and there is a Nidus Swarm as well, so there it is. We see the Nidus Swarm going down on the right side, and he will be able to unleash his Locusts, and we'll see how much damage. Oh, he gets spotted though! By the Hellion.
And it does, but the rest of the Hellions are quite a while away. There is a BC that's going to be teleporting directly on top of there, but I don't think there's enough DPS here. These Storm Hosts are going to launch a Locust and back the heck off. Are a couple of Vikings here to try to take them from the sky, but with the Hellions in place with Blue Flame, I don't think Awers is going to take too much damage here.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He only lost 2 workers. You know, that's like the best case scenario you can hope for.
It's like a quarter of a mule.
Exactly,
and
but
Awers
it doesn't
have
stop
a lot
there.
of mules right here. No,
yeah, more and more Niduses.
Bring in some 2019 strats. Are a couple of Niduses. Denver wants, both players really want to have a back and forth. They want to make their presence on the map known. Awers is going for it.
Yeah,
he wants to take this fight. He knows that Awers, or Denver rather, doesn't have an army that can really contest this at the moment.
Yeah, the problem is this is scary. Like, if Denver ends up using his Swarm Hosts offensively, like to deal harass, and he doesn't have them here to defend, and he does unleash them now, but once that Locust wave dies, he just loses so much army.
That's its supply for a while, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
He does have a lot of Corruptors, but to be fair, Awers doesn't really have a lot in the air either.
Exactly, he has nothing in the air. He has a Viking.
Yeah, Viking and a BC.
So really, that's even really good supply.
Yeah, look at these SUVs. I'm assuming they're here for repair. Yep, they are.
Spawn the boys.
May as well at this point. You know, you realize mules are just so much better for mining that you may as well just send a couple of your boys forward.
And here's the second locust wave. Once this gets cleared up, I feel like he's clear to push in, but we'll see what it's able to do.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this works in conjunction with the rest of Denver's units. Denver is pushing in, but all of his ground army is getting shelled by the siege tanks, burnt by the Hellbats. Denver has to be so careful right now.
Yeah, and Awers, he needs to
Awers
be.
is gonna get the opportunity.
Yeah, he needs to be a little bit more aggressive. I feel like he should be pushing his tanks in a little bit further before the locusts recharge.
Denver actually, or Awers rather, sorry, has lost a lot of his Hellbats. If the locusts recharge, they can jump on these tanks and take a lot of them out.
Oh, but
Denver's
it's too late.
so patient right now. Denver is being so patient. He needs to defend. He does get a couple of locusts. They do pounce on the tanks. The friendly fire is huge, but it's not going to be enough. I think Awers is going to take game 2 very shortly. Well, we'll see. The army supply has dropped immensely for Awers, while spiking a lot for Denver.
Only 2 tanks went down to that locust wave.
Yeah. Denver is also playing with a slight upgrade advantage. These very slight.
Yeah, it's important to note that, again,
holding for the time being, though, and the Corruptors finally making use of them.
They're finally being useful in some way, which is quite nice because, again, losing that base wasn't the end of the world. Denver does have quite a few hatcheries.
Look at Denver's bank. Exactly. Denver thought a long way ahead. He aggressively expanded across each corner of the map. He went north, he went northeast, east. He went north, he went east, and he went northeast. So even though Awers managed to take out the northeast base, he still got these bases up to north.
Yeah, but it's still scary though, right? Because Denver, he has the economy, he has that bank, he's maxed out, but he can't really take on a straight up engagement. He has to be so careful with these fights. And he has to make sure he doesn't overcommit.
He's being careful so far though. He's trying to jump onto this Thor, but it's a trap! He's lured into the siege lines of Awers. And a lot of the supply is actually being recovered from Denver. Awers is losing a lot of SCVs across the map. Once again, these Corruptors are the real MVPs here. Look at all these burning factories.
Yeah. As well as the Nidus. Look, the Roaches are killing the third as well, so Awers, he's all in. He has to win with his army.
And this is not an army that you can really be all in with. It's really hard to be aggressive with it, especially when you have these many tanks that are all up in siege.
Yep.
Locusts are going down, or rather these Locusts are going down and taking the tanks with them. Awers is sticking in. He knows he still has a slight bit of hope here. He does not want to let all of his... Yeah? He does not want his macro to go to waste now. But I think Denver... GG. And Denver advances in this lower bracket 2-0. Wow. Brilliant defense from Denver there. I was ready to write it off for a while, but I realized, hold on. The supply is somehow in favor of Denver.
Yeah, like it was all about Denver keeping his cool. Like, even though there was this giant mech army pushing him in and he couldn't even fight it, he was collected enough to be able to send his Corruptors across the map and deal damage with them, as well as the Niduses across the map as well. Without that, we would have seen a completely different game.
He understood, I think, that he needed to keep his Swarm Host alive. He could lose a couple of Roaches here and there, but he absolutely needed his Swarm Host, because what he could do there was send his Locusts out. Sure, he might lose the Locusts, but if he could take out a Thor, maybe two tanks with him, that would have been absolutely huge. And as we see, it was enough to win him the game, the series even.
Yeah. He just whittled that army down bit by bit, as well as dealing all this economic damage at home, and yeah, it was.
I've been saying Mutalisks are the best harassment unit in the game, but maybe I need to reevaluate that. Maybe it's actually Corruptors.
Yeah.
All right.
Dark was ahead of the meta, man.
That dark, corrupting bane. There we go. All right, I think we will be going to a quick break, and when we get back, we should have a series for you. So stay tuned.